Yo, what are you doing? Get over here and help. We got a lot of work to do. Hey, what's up guys? It's Kyler over here. So we are introducing a new project to the channel. So this is my 1989 Ford Mustang. We got all sorts of stuff to do to this thing to get it back on the road. This thing was very much a Roadkill inspired build, so she's pretty cobbled together, but overall super fun car. We've already done a ton of stuff to it, but as with any project, there's always more to do. So basically we're just gonna kind of show you around the car, show you what's already been done to it, and then we're gonna put a list together of all the stuff that needs to be done to it still. So yeah, we're basically just gonna kind of take you along on the journey of that and show you some things on these Foxbody Mustangs, some of the quirks and cool stuff with them. And then, you know, hopefully by the end of this series, we'll get it out on the track and see what kind of times it runs. All right, so starting up front here, the heart of the old Mustang. So like I said, originally it was an 89 four-cylinder automatic car. These had a 2.3 liter four-cylinder, naturally aspirated, and of course automatic transmission. When I bought the car, the engine was okay. I mean, it was kind of on its last legs. The transmission wouldn't shift past second gear. So obviously I got a pretty dang good deal on it. Apparently before it was some little old lady and she daily drove this thing. She had put like 200,000 miles on it and transmission started going bad on her, so she ended up selling the car. So like I said, I ended up picking it up, pretty good deal on it, knowing the transmission was bad. I put some band-aids on that transmission and actually drove it around for a little bit as a four-cylinder automatic, and it was kind of fun. But since then, it's grown a few extra cylinders. So up front, we've got a 351 Windsor out of a 93 F250. The motor is pretty stock. I do have just a generic single plane intake manifold on here. We do have a Holley carburetor up front here. 4-barrel, nothing too crazy, 650 CFM. Runs good on this thing, stock motor. Obviously in the future there are plans to do heads, cam, maybe go up to a 408. I guess we'll just see, you know, things always kind of progress like that anyways. But to keep her cold, we've got a 3-core aluminum radiator up here, twin electric fans. This thing, I mean, it's pretty tough to get it past 190 degrees. She runs nice and cool. We've got the 1-wire alternator up front here to keep the battery charged. I did relocate the battery to the back, which isn't in there right now, but we'll show you where it's gonna go. We've got, gosh, yeah, I mean, beyond that, motor's pretty stock. Full MSD ignition system on here. For exhaust, we've got some, if you want to show in there, we've got some BBK long tube headers. I believe these were 1 3/4 inch. Sounds good. Got a really nice rumble to it and revs good and everything. We did pull the motor, so we got the car running. We did pull the motor after that and completely re-gasketed everything, so we don't have to worry about leaks or anything like that. Still does have power steering on it. No AC, obviously. Don't really need that. It's got the 280 AC, just roll 2 down and go 80 and you're good. Yeah, other than that, everything's been completely rewired. It is street legal wired, so headlights, blinkers, tail lights, all of that is wired in properly and it does work properly. So it is completely road legal. We do have some adjustable stuff up front for suspension. We'll kind of show suspension a little bit more. Got some trick stuff under there for that. We do have a line lock on here as well. Get some sweet burnouts going. Did put hood pins on here just because, I don't know, hood pins are cool. So yeah, obviously the hood's missing. To get this thing to fit, I actually had to do some custom work to the hood too, which again we'll show here in just a little bit. But yeah, this was like the lowest intake I could find, and or you know, lowest air filter I could find. Yeah, and it still just doesn't fit under the hood. I've got, gosh, I think there were 1.5 inch, maybe 2-inch drop mounts on here. It is solid motor mounted as well. And I don't know if you'll be able to see that right up in here, right in this area here. Like I said, it is fully solid mounted up front. I still have a stock rubber mount on the transmission. I read that if you solid mount everything, it likes to crack the bell housing, so didn't want to deal with that, so we do still have a rubber mount for the transmission. Yeah, some of the stuff, and we'll get into making the list here in a little bit, but some of the stuff we still need to do up here. The motor is ready. Everything is plugged in. It needs some fluids in it, some oils and all of that fun stuff. But we still need to hook up. Actually, no, I think we've got all the fuel hooked up. Yeah, we just need to hook up throttle, need to hook the clutch back up, clutch cable. I think we just need to kind of plug in some random shit up here and should be pretty well ready to go. Need to put the dipstick back in, not a big deal. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, up front here is pretty buttoned up. Yeah, moving along here. So down on the front suspension, I got a set of aftermarket wheels. Found these on the good old Facebook marketplace for a steal. Got some BF Goodwrench radial TAs on here. These tires are probably old and whatever, but it works. Some of the trick stuff that we did up front here though. So it's got Moroso trick springs on it. Obviously, as you can see, we've got a ton of separation up front here. So I actually went with SN95 style front struts. In order to get those on here though, the 4-cylinder spindles are actually thicker. So we had to cut those down, put some new bolt holes in there to fit these struts. The springs, we actually, God, I think we cut 2 lengths off of those just to get them to fit, and we still have, I mean, we have tons of separation up in this front end. Now, of course, the brakes, we had to redo the lines here, make them a little bit longer. We had to redo new rotors and calipers. The old calipers were blown apart and seized and just not working. So we replaced all of that. Some things for the future, we could probably put a new rack on this just because it's old and leaky and gross, but whatever. It still works. So that's about it for the front suspension. Up underneath here, actually, take a peek. So it is just a stock T5 transmission. I found it on eBay and got a good deal on it. So we've got the stock T5 up in there. Like I said, we are still rubber mounted on the transmission, but I did get one of these little tubular cross arms to hold it in place, kind of stiffen a little bit up. Some future plans for this, probably ladder bars, maybe strengthening the torque boxes, just some simple stuff like that. Don't need to get too crazy on these, but once we start making some real power, I don't really want to deal with the chassis twisting on me, so don't really feel like doing no G-body shuffles or nothing. Yeah, if you can see on the other side of the car there on the passenger side, we've got our fuel line running. I got an inline fuel filter there. The exhaust is some, yeah, obviously it's not in place here, but we got some pretty cheap exhaust for this thing. I think I went on Amazon and got some fake Flowmasters. They sound good, actually. They work. It was like, I don't know, 40 bucks for 2 of them. So I was like, whatever, why not? They flow good and everything. I do have a wideband on here too, the AFR. So it helps with tuning. Makes it a lot easier. I'm not a carburetor master by any means, so that definitely helped me a lot just to make sure that the car was safe and everything. Moving on to the back, probably one of the weakest parts on this whole car that is definitely going to need to be updated and replaced soon. This still is running the stock 4-cylinder rear diff. It does have 373s in it, and it moves. I mean, the 373s are spunky, but it's a weak link. I want to get an 8.8 in here, just to be able to handle extra power. I've heard rumors that you can run up to 500 horsepower on drag slicks on a prepped surface, and allegedly that 7.5 will live, so I guess maybe we'll test that out in the future. But we do have some tubular control arms back here just to help, again, kind of stiffen things up. One other kind of trick, old school drag trick, it's got new springs in the back here, but they are stock 4-cylinder Mustang springs. Basically they're a little bit softer than what the V8 cars were, and it helps with the weight transfer, helps really push things back. So that's pretty well it for underneath the car. Up front here we are still running stock seats. Nothing special there. Maybe put in a race seat and a harness here in the future, but these stock seats are kind of comfy. Tried to keep as much stock stuff up front here as we could. So still running full stock dash. Obviously we do have, you know, just a Jags generic RPM gauge over here tack, just to, I don't know, get a good view of how many RPMs we're turning, and plus it just looks cool. Down below that I've got a couple different gauges for the you know, AFR. I got oil pressure on there, water temperature on there. I want to make sure we keep this thing safe. Down below that I've got a switch panel to run, you know, all of the different stuff between ignition and, you know, starting and fans and all of that. So we've got that all down there. Down below that we've got the choke for the carb, and then the left and right little up and down switches are for the windows. Still got power windows on here. It was actually really hard. I wanted to swap them to manual windows, but it was really hard to find those. So yeah, obviously up top here the whole interior is taken out just from what we've been doing. I think last time we were in here we were dealing with some wiring gremlins that we had to try and fix, but I did find online, so like I said, it was originally a 4-cylinder automatic, so I had to find a 3-pedal. Found that, I think, on eBay, and those have gotten really expensive actually. So I found one that was pretty roughed up. It was rusty and dirty and whatever, so I blasted it, refinished it, got some new paint on it and all of that, and it looks good, it works good. So I do have an upgraded, or I guess not really upgraded, aftermarket clutch quadrant on there. It's adjustable, so just kind of helps get you a little bit better feel on the clutch and a little bit better engagement point and all of that. For the shifter, I don't really care for the short throw shifters. I prefer just a standard throw on there. I feel like you can feel the gears a little bit better. It is aftermarket, and I don't remember what brand or anything, but it shifts good, it feels good, and yeah, it works. So here in the back we've got a lot more madness going on. So again, the car has been completely rewired. We were working on getting all of the sound deadening out of here. That I think just became a pain in the ass, so we decided to quit, but we'll get back on that eventually. We got most of it out of there. We still need to get it off around the seats, or where the seats were. Completely redid a full relay board on this, so makes it a lot easier for rewiring this car. Basically you just have switch ins and switch outs, relay outs, and yeah, really just makes it a lot easier when completely rewiring everything. Yeah, eventually we do have a small little 4-point cage that we'll get in here. That was kind of one thing we were working on as well, is getting that fitted in here. Yeah, coming around to the back, this is a hatch Foxbody, so yeah, these are a little bit easier to find than the coupes, and like I said, when I found this thing I wasn't really looking and happened to get a good deal on it and decided to do it. So 15-gallon fuel cell here in the back. That was another thing that we were working on, is getting this sunk down as low as we possibly could. If I remember right, part of the NHRA rules is the fuel tank has to be lower than the wheel wells. I might be wrong on that. I think I remember that though. And so I think that's what we were doing, is just trying to sink it down as far as we possibly could, and then we'll get some straps to hold it down and everything. The battery is going to be sitting over here on the passenger side. My thought was trying to get the weight opposite of me when I'm in the car. So we're going to try and put that as far back and to the passenger side as possible, and you know, just a little bit of ballast basically. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything back here. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything that we did to the car so far. Oh, another thing that we were working on, of course, for drag racing, you got to have a shut-off, electronic shut-off here at the back. So I think it specifies that it needs to be a push-style shut-off. So I think we're gonna have to swap that out. But this works for now. It's just one of them battery cutoff switches. But we do have it on a Cole Hersey high-powered continuous voltage relay. So that was another thing that we were working on, is basically power in, power out. I had it set up before where the power was actually flowing through that switch, but I just didn't like it. So I figured it'd be a little bit safer to run a big relay like this. That way we have small power going through the switches and then big power actually going through the relays. Yeah, trying to do this as safe as possible. Like I said, this thing is kind of cobbled together, and part of the fun is being a little sketchy, but you want to be smart about it too. So yeah, I think that's basically everything that we've done so far. Now it's probably time to put the list together of shit to do. All right, so things to do. This piece of cardboard might not be big enough. So up front in the engine area, so basically just need to plug stuff back in. I know we need to plug the fans back in. So plug stuff in. And we need the throttle cable. And then we need the clutch cable. I think that's basically it. Maybe plug the starter back in. Yeah, I think that's basically everything we need to do up front, is just plug stuff in. Here, I know we already got the switches plugged back into the back of the switchboard, but I think we just need to plug everything back into the relay board. So on the interior, I need to plug everything into the relay board. I mean, as far as like getting it running, that's about it. I don't think we need to worry too much about the sound deadening and stuff right now. I think that's a later project. Oh, yeah, got to put the drive shaft back in. We do have a pretty nice beefy aluminum drive shaft, and this thing is pretty trick. Should handle all the horsepower I want to throw at it, and then some, but we do need to put that back in. I know we need to put the shifter back together. I think we've got all the lights and stuff all working. I know we've got the blinkers and brake lights all working. So I think all of that is good. I think we need to, well, I guess we got to put the interior back in. I think we still need to bolt down the center console and everything. The passenger side window too is not working anymore. I don't know if it's the motor or switch or wiring or what, but we should probably figure that out. Here at the back, I know we need to strap the fuel tank down. That's kind of important. We need to finish up the battery and get that into a box and into a home. The fuel pump, I don't know if we've shown that yet. So we've got the fuel pump hanging out right down here. We do need to re-brace that with a little bit better bracket system. I think we basically just kind of need to rivet a secondary like bracing piece on it and it'll be fine, and then maybe tuck the fuel line up a little bit. Everything down here is higher than what the rear end is, so shouldn't have to worry about it hitting anything, but I need to figure that out. So yeah, fuel pump. And again, I think for getting it running and driving, I think that's about it. So yeah, we've got a pretty good list here of things to do. And yeah, this video series for the start of it, I think, is just going to be basically knocking this list out. And yeah, getting it on the road for its maiden voyage. And then once we do that, I think that's when we'll start really messing with things, modifying the engine, swapping out the rear end, doing some of the more fun stuff to make it go fast. I think once we get it running, maybe we'll get it up on the track and just run a time and see what it does in this format. And then we'll kind of move on to areas to improve from there. So yeah, if you got anything to add, any tips, tricks, any of you Foxbody guys know that that can help me out, I'd definitely appreciate it. Yeah, if there's any modifications that you think would be sweet on this thing, throw it in the comments, let me know. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks, we'll see ya.